Okay, this is Miss Davis. We're going to talk about using the calculator. This is the calculator I'm using, the Casio scientific calculator that we use at Central. And we're going to do decimals to fractions and back and forth. So, of course, with a fraction, we all know 1/2 is 0.5, and we can put in a fraction using our fraction button if we want to. We're going to arrow down and put the 2 on the bottom. Hit equal, it's going to tell us 1/2. Now, that's because that's considered standard. If we want the decimal version of that, we're going to use this button right here. Very useful button, S to D. Standard to decimal goes back and forth, decimal to standard. So if I hit that, I get 0.5. Alright, so if I put in a decimal, let's put in 0.375, and we want to know, well, what is that fraction? I can actually get that fraction most of the time by just hitting equal. Okay, again, if I want to put that back to a decimal, I hit this S to D. Now, what if I have a repeating decimal? Now, on these calculators, there is the repeat function. It's kind of hard to see. It's right here. It's above your square root button, and it's in the version of text color that goes with the alpha. So I'm not going to hit shift to get this, I'm going to hit alpha. So if I want to do like well, let's just do something we know, 0.3 repeating, we know that's 1/3. So let's go ahead and do that one. We're going to put the decimal in first. You can put 0 point or just decimal. And before I hit the 3 though, I want my repeat bar at the top. So I'm going to hit alpha, the square root button. And notice now I have a repeat bar at the top, and I'm blinking cursor, I can add the 3. Now if I hit equal here again, my calculator's going to put it in its fraction version. If I want the decimal back, I hit the S to D, and I've got 0.3 repeating. So let's do something a little harder. Let's do point. We're going to do our alpha again, the square root button again. We're going to put 0.9 in there. So I've got 0.9, which would be 0.9, 0.9, 0.9 repeating. We'll hit equal, and it gives me 1/11. If I happen to want to put that back into its repeat, I hit that standard to decimal, and I get that. We can do this with about anything, any decimal to fraction, fraction back to decimal, using this button right here, using our alpha square root to get our repeat sign. Now, what if it's just like 2.5, and then I have the 6 repeat? So we're going to put alpha, then we're going to have our 6 repeat, we're going to hit equal, and that gives us the fraction of 77/30. Now this is an improper fraction. What if I want the mixed number to that? Okay, we're going to still use this S to D button, but if we look above it, we've got things that look like mixed fractions, so we hit shift S to D. That will give us 2/17/30. Okay, again, if I want the decimal for that, I hit the S to D button. I get 2.5 and just the 6 repeating. So 2.5666666. Let me go ahead and show you the square root. So if we got pi, let's just do pi, because think about rational, irrational numbers. You see pi that's above this button down here in the middle. So if I do shift this button, I'm going to have pi. I hit that, and I get pi because that's its standard form, but I wanted the decimal for that. So I'm going to hit this S to D button. Now, one thing I want you to notice, you don't have ... here, but this filled up my screen. Now it didn't go all the way, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 decimal places. That's all your calculator's going to do. So that means that it has filled up every available space. Now it does keep going. Okay. So just know that it's, you know, you're not going to see ... If it looks like this and it's taking up more than half of your display, it is a non-repeating, terminating decimal. And I can hit that SD again, and it gives me pi. Square roots. If I do square root, now remember you got to do square root button first. If I do the square root of 2, it's going to give me the square root of 2, but if I want the decimal, I'm going to get that. Again, it keeps on going forever. It just doesn't show that. So when you are looking at rational irrational numbers, if you do a square root of something and it gives you back the square root in a kind of symbol that is an irrational number, remember rationals have to be able to look like fractions. But if I do the square root of 36, it's going to give me a 6, which is a rational number because that is the square root of a perfect square. So hopefully this helps. Thank you.